rest of the family and tried to live just in one room, 10 people. One day, my dad set us down to tell us that he made a decision to pursue the American dream. He decided to immigrate to USA, but of course, with that education, he will cross the border like many Latin Americans have done. Just to give you an idea how the people try to survive for the countries, they tried to take on a train that crossed all Mexico to the border with USA. This is a reality that we are facing, no much years. We are facing this reality until today. Millions of people try to escape for the poverty. But this is all not mean it's a safe place. It's a safe way to do that. Because unfortunately, we have many issues now in Mexico with the drug war. And also, another people try to cross the river. As you know, we have now a tough situation between our governments in Mexico and the USA. They want to send like an army in the border in these days. So also this means like most of the people couldn't cross the border. And also, if some of them did, there is also they had to walk for probably for more than 1 week on the desert, without food, without water. I don't know what is the situation for my dad, because we have not heard about him in 30 years. The day that he left us, I remember that day he gave us 20 pesos. That this means like $1, probably. We also have the hope that he will back someday, but until now, I'm not sure. I don't know how can I find him. But this was the final reality that we have it. Living with the rest of my family, they didn't want the responsibility of 3 children. And one day, they told us that if we want to survive, we have to move to separate towns in Mexico when we have extended family. Because my family didn't born in Mexico City. My whole family born in Oaxaca. This is another city with more extreme poverty than Mexico City. Also, the people didn't have access to basic things like water, electricity, gas. They had to cook like their food on the street. It was so hard to try to thinking about if we move to separate towns, it means that I must be separate from my siblings. Probably I will not see very often my sister or my brother. At that time, I was 10 years old. Can you imagine being this age and try to decide what is the best option? And think it's not fair that one child now needs to decide about their future. Thinking about it, that if we move to these towns with the rest of my family, also it means that I didn't have education. Probably I got married at young age, because the culture of these towns, most of the women got married at the age 14. And one of the worst traditions that we still have in Mexico is you had to raise like around 10 children, or probably 20, like my godmother. Living in extreme poverty and having a lot of children is not fair. But probably that should be my reality if I move to these towns. And also, living in Mexico is not one of the best advantages for some family that try to move, because the big population that we have, probably the 70% of the people live in poverty. This is a reality, this picture speaks for itself, that this is the reality that we have it. And this is the reality that many people had to live now, and all children that I has to confront every day. Back to my story, I could not imagine my life without education. This must be my life at that time. But we were so lucky that one of my aunts had heard about MPH family, Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos, that means our little brother and sister. I love to call that MPH is my family, because this fantastic organization that is in charge to save many children, to give in a better opportunity in life and education and safe environment, and give food and values to be a better person in the world, was my home. I'm so glad that Father Watson, who was the founder of the family in 1954, started this beautiful organization. Now, I'm so blessed that we have 9 homes in Latin America, and we are working for giving a better future for many children. This is the first picture together that I had with my siblings. And I'm so thankful that we're coming together to MPH. Just I wanted to give you, I want to share with all of you part of my life and my early years, and what was my life before MPH. And I'm very honored that I'm going to share my life and MPH at the dinner, if you can join us tonight. And also we have a stand in the back, and we can share with all of you more about this beautiful organization and about what we are concerned now. I'm so blessed to be here today and share with you part of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aurora. We've just got a few more minutes, so we're going to have a little bit of question time if anyone has some questions for this lovely lady. She did so well, didn't she? Not an easy thing to talk about your life in front of all these people in a different country in your second language, so I think we should just give her another big round of applause. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Sure, thank you. Oh, you're making me run this morning.
More of just a comment, just to say that I don't normally watch Al Jazeera, but somebody put it on in where I was staying, and there was something there about Honduras and how difficult the situation is there, about some people who are trying to run a free press there, and just must be politically, and that they'd had people killed in their organization over the last few years. It must be difficult politically in Latin America in general, or I don't know how many countries it's difficult in, put it that way. We don't know much about Latin America is what I'm saying.
Thank you. Do you have some comments about the political situation in Mexico in terms of freedom of speech?
Thank you. Fortunately, the system of the government that we have in Mexico, the laws didn't protect many children. So this is one of the huge reality that we have. But few organizations, we are working to change that reality, because it's not easy to try to fight against with the government. So, but for that reason, I'm here to try to share with many of you how the ways we can support many children, not just in Mexico, in 9 countries in Latin America.
Thank you. And just thank you very much, Aurora. Just about Honduras, I spent 2 years as a volunteer there, and to expand on the comment about the political situation, it is very dangerous. There are many activists that are trying to change things over there, but often they do get killed, and that's just the reality. So in a way, MPH, we've decided that we can't change the whole world, we can't change everything. We would love to overnight. The best thing that we can do is try and change the life of one child, one family at a time. And I think Aurora's story testifies to that. Are there any more comments or questions before we end the session? Okay, thank you. Aurora, do you just want to stand on the stage with the mic, because then people can see you? Thank you.
Is NPH supported by any religious organization, or our children teach how to pray or something?
Sorry, what was the last one? Okay. So the question was whether NPH is a religious organization?
Yes. The MPH family was founded for a priest, and we have a Catholic education, and also this helps us to grow up with values, to be very humble, and to care and take care for our rest of our siblings.
That's right. So MPH was founded by Father William Wasson, who was a priest from the United States, who only wanted to spend 1 year in Mexico. But what happened is one morning a parishioner came to him and said, "Father, you must come down to the station. Somebody has stolen from the charity box in the church, and now they're in the city prison." And so Father Wasson went down to the station, and behind the bars he saw a young boy. And being from the United States, much like ourselves here in New Zealand, he wasn't used to seeing this kind of level of poverty, and the way that people would treat street children was just to lock them up. And so Father Wasson was really moved by this child and his situation, who said, "Father, forgive me, I was hungry. I didn't know what to do. My parents have left me." And so Father Wasson was so moved that he said, "If you come with me, will you treat me as a father, and I will give you the education and the family that you need?" And he said, of course, he said yes. He didn't want to stay in prison. And from there, by the end of the week, Father Wasson had all of the boys from the city prison, And by the end of the month, there were more and more, and then eventually girls came as well so that the siblings could stay together. And now there's over 3,000 children, 6,000 if you count all the kids who are living in their communities and being supported with schooling or medical care. Just from that one act of kindness. Thank you. We'll probably take one last question. Sorry, I'm talking. I should have let Aurora talk. I always try and take away the star of the show. For people who don't know me, I'm Lauren O'Sullivan, and I'm the director of MPH New Zealand now. And so thanks to John, the Eucharistic Convention, as well as another group called the Latin American Centre of Excellence, we've been able to bring Aurora here to share her story. And it's just so wonderful to hear a story from a child who's experienced this. I mean, I can talk all day, but it's so much more valuable to talk to Aurora today. So if you can, please do welcome her to New Zealand and thank her for her beautiful story and speech. Let's give her a round of applause.